How many guys saw the town hall meeting with President Joe Biden the other night? And my social media manager, Ivan, brought this to my attention because instead of doing a full-blown reaction to this with mic'd up and full edit, I just want to get on the phone right now and do a reaction to this, at least this article. I watched the video, I watched what was being said, I watched the interaction between him and Don Lemon, the audience that was there, and I tell you this is very unsettling to me. I'm sitting right now here in Dallas, Texas, and I was here a few months ago, and right there is this ER room. I don't know if you guys see it. There's an ER near me, and thank God for entrepreneurship, because I actually was here shooting a video back in August, not a few months ago. Back in August, I was shooting a video, and I was 103, 104 degree temperature, and it's hot here in Dallas all the time. I got in, and they said, no, we can't let you inside the office and shoot the video. But anyway, make a long story short, I went to this ER room right here, which is a privately owned business. And they said, listen, man, you got COVID. You had COVID, and you got to stay, you got to rest. I went out to the Renaissance Hotel, quarantined there for 14 days. But my point is this: had I waited to fly back to Chicago, had I waited to wait for a state-run facility to see whether or not I had COVID, and I had scheduled in Illinois a appointment, I had to get a doctor's notice, but right here, because of private business, because of private enterprise, going right there, right across this in and out, there's a private ER room that I just paid for, $200. I found out I got COVID-19. I'm thankful for it because I didn't expose my wife. At that time, a one-year-old son to COVID, my nanny, our parents, we didn't expose anybody. We stayed quarantined. My son and I, we had COVID. My 10-year-old, 9-year-old at the time, because of entrepreneurship. Here's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at this frustrated look on this entrepreneur's face. This guy's name is John Lanny. He owns the Thunderdome Restaurant Group. And this guy's a builder. He's just not a simple mom and pop shop who owns one restaurant. He owns 39 restaurants across the country. So this guy knows what he's doing. He knows what it takes to build a restaurant, to build a menu, to compete in a local marketplace, to pitch investors, to hire staff, to retain staff, to create a great quality customer experience. This guy knows what he's doing. And look at the look on his face. Frustrated. Do you know why? He was asking our president this question. He says, the entire industry, amongst other industries, continues to struggle to find employees. How do you, in the Biden administration plan to incentivize those that haven't returned to work yet? Hiring is our top priority right now. You know why? The reason why he's asking this question, because he's discovered that as an entrepreneur, as a restaurateur, people don't want to go back to work because, again, COVID payments right now. They're getting unemployment checks, some as high as $16 an hour on COVID payments. They factor in restaurant worker who has dependents. They're getting paid anywhere between 18 and 22, 23 bucks an hour to stay home. But yet Biden seemed to wipe his hands of the issue. He says, I'm claiming the shortage wasn't down to increased benefits, but people no longer work in restaurants. Are you kidding me? Listen, I'm talking as a United States Marine. I don't have a silver spoon in my mouth. I wasn't raised with money. I built a business from scratch. I've been an entrepreneur for 22 years. And the reason why I'm sharing this video on a Friday night, when most people went home, chilling out, maxing, relaxing, cooling out, doing what they're doing, you know what I did on Friday nights and weekends as an entrepreneur, building my business in the insurance industry for 22 years? I worked on Friday nights and evenings. I put in the grind. I put in work. I studied. I became a student of business. I made sure the I's were dotted and T's were crossed. I wanted to make sure that people that I employed were paid. I made sure the clients I was serving were taken care of. And then you have a president who's been practically in office since 1972, 1973. He has this answer. He says, my gut tells me that there's a lot of people looking to change their occupation. No, they're not looking to change their occupation. Listen, here's what I know about when your belly is filled, when your bills are paid, and it's incentivized to stay home more than it is to go to work. You're not wanting to change. Life is good. Listen, I have 20-year-old daughters. I told them how much I applaud them and I thank them for not buying into the narrative of their friends, that they're different than their friends. See, they were raised by an entrepreneurial dad who's built on values and principles that if you want something, you work hard. You don't wait for somebody else to hand it to you, that you're not entitled to anything. The only thing that you're entitled to in this country is freedom and opportunity. If you wake up one morning and you have breath in your lungs and you got your feet below you and you can get to work, you're blessed. Get to work. Now, that's not a narrative that a lot of people don't want to hear right now in America. People don't want to listen. The AOCs of the world. Listen, the last thing you'd find me is political. Last thing you find me is political. I'm entrepreneurial. And when I say an entrepreneur not having his question answered by the President of the United States about why we can't get more people back to work to open up restaurants, who doesn't love a good meal at a restaurant? I think the Goldman Sachs CEO is to listen, if you can go to a restaurant to go eat, you can go back to work. So when I see this narrative being portrayed in the media, that's okay, chill, the government's going to take care of you, and the AOCs in the world, the liberals of the world, the Democrats of the world, I say, we'll take care. The government's going to take care of you. I'm reminded of a Democrat. One day he said, don't ask what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country. Who is that? JFK? Who was a Democrat? And think about that message. Don't ask what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country. That was a Democrat in the 60s that said that. You fast forward to 2020, 2021. Imagine that being said today by a Democrat. It's not going to happen. That Democrat today would be a Republican. You kidding me? So here's some thoughts I had. Number one, who's in control? Who do you want in control of your life? Do you want the government in control of your life? Listen, imagine your life, imagine your job, imagine your benefits, your medical care. My daughter today says, Papi, I need help. I need an appointment schedule. Can you help me with this appointment? I said, babe, get them on the phone. Tell them, I don't care what the insurance says. Tell them your dad's going to private pay. Private pay. Instead of kicking that appointment 2 weeks from now, we paid right away. The doctor saw right away. You know why? Because money creates access. No matter how you slice it, money gives you access. Financial capital on your end provides you access, creates options. Don't you want options in your life? So bottom line, who do you want control? You want control your income. We have a saying here, he or she that controls your income, controls your life, and the decisions you make in your life. Do you want to wait for some a government benefit to help take care of in your medical care? Or do you want to say, hey, listen, I have the financial resources, boom, give me top access, top medical care, and give it to me right now. Quality care, I expect it. I want convenience, I want service, I want quality care. There's a situation going on in my body that I want it taken care of right now. I don't want to be treated like I'm waiting for somebody in the line at a Walmart, or I'm waiting for somebody in line at a DMV. Is that the way you want to be treated? Is that the way you want control? Because that's what's going to happen when the government gets too big and say, hey, let's give you everything. Everything's going to be on the government's dime. Healthcare, retirement, education. You really want everything on the government's dime? Because then you lose control. Anytime you pay for convenience, you pay for it for lack of control on your end. Last time I checked, the government's supposed to be for the people and by the people. And listen, in the Marine Corps, we had a way of saying like this: lead, follow, or get out the way. What do you want to do? And the thing is, the Biden saying that, listen, let's tax the rich, have them pay their fair share, stick it to the corporations. Listen, I'm nobody from nowhere that built a company. So I'm that guy that you're talking about now, President Biden? I'm that corporation. Listen, just this afternoon, I just filled out an offer letter for one of my employees to move from Chicago down here to Dallas. I'm an employer. You want to stick it to guys like me that are creating jobs? Stick to me the guys that are creators like myself? If people don't really like corporations, what do you think the government is? It's one big corporation with no face to it. And do you really think that the powers that be outside of special interest groups are really controlling the government? Listen, if you want to cast fear, you want to depend on the government, you want to stay behind on Zoom all day, you want food delivered to you, knock yourself out. Just don't impart that upon me. Just don't impart that upon other people. If that's what you want to do with your life and the freedom that we have in this country, it's a free country, right? Knock yourself out. Just don't push that agenda upon other people. The flip side to this in terms of fear, don't let fear cause you from trying something new. Don't let fear keep you from trying something difficult and applying yourself. Because here's what I've discovered. When trying something new, doing something that was difficult, I found something that absolutely changed my life if I was not only able to wrestle that fear, but blast through it. And on the other side of fear, wow, a whole nother life was created because of applying myself through fear. It's called courage. Courage means still having that fear and still getting the job done. Do you want to have fear or do you want to have courage? The choice is yours. You know, we said this long ago throughout this whole pandemic. He said, you know what? During the lockdowns, we had a video out there. We said, I'm not waiting. In spite of us being locked down, in spite of us being locked down in our houses, it was kind of weird. Everybody experienced that situation. It was weird for us all to be at home, working out at home, working out of the house, working out in terms of gyms and just trying to stay in shape at home. It's so weird not to be able to go down to the restaurant. It's so weird to not be able to come in and go to Walgreens or CVS or anything like that. It's so weird not to have stores opened up. Remember those moments, that tense feeling, like, wow, what is this? It felt like I Am Legend movement happening for real time. But we had a saying though, we knew that down the road this would finally push through, that we finally see an end to this thing. Hopefully it's coming through. We said this, now that you got time on your hands, now that for some of you, because of those COVID checks or your tax refunds or some of these unemployment benefits, now that you got a little bit of money on your side, now that you got time, now that you got a little bit of money, if you didn't pick up a new skill set, a new habit, discover a new opportunity, it's not that you lack time. It's not that you lack money. What you lacked was discipline. And by the way, that's not a message that a lot of people want to hear. They're like, screw you, don't like you, don't want to hear you, cancel you out. I get it. The more difficult message that we hear in America today, the most difficult message we hear around us today is an effort of maintaining higher standards in spite of everybody wanting to lower it. People don't like hanging out with people with high standards because they end up changing communities, they end up changing businesses, they end up changing games, they end up changing cultures because you maintain high standards. You want change. You want to see a new potential. You don't want to lower your dreams to match the current reality. That's not where winning happens. And so when I see a guy like this that's been winning in life, who's a builder of restaurants, who's an employer of people, who has the honor and privilege of helping people pay their rent, their mortgage, their cars, help their kid goes to the school, and he doesn't get a clear answer on how to get people out from home to go back to work again, to build a restaurant, to create an experience, to provide food and jobs for people, I don't like that at all. And when the president says some people are looking to change opportunities and change what they're doing, are they really? Are they really? Because here's what I know. Again, once your belly is full, no change. But only time you want to change is when you feel great pain, great emotional pain. Only then does one choose to change. I don't know what you think. Please drop your thoughts, your comments below. What are your thoughts about this? What are your thoughts about this economy opening? What do you think about the government saying, hey, we allowed you to open and stay open? Remember what Biden says? Well, we kept you open. Really? A group of 100,000 restaurants was access to a fund called the Restaurant Revitalization Fund, worth $20 billion. If you break that down, with 100,000 restaurants in it, that's $200,000 per restaurant. Do you realize how expensive rent is in terms of certain restaurants? Do you realize how expensive certain payroll is? $30,000 a month some restaurants will run on. $200,000 per restaurant is nothing. And these restaurateurs, they put everything on the line. The lease on the restaurant that they're renting, the equity of the homes that they own. They put everything on the line. And the government comes in and says, well, we kept you open? Really? No, I don't think the government kept you open. These entrepreneurs, they kept themselves open with pride and dignity. They forced themselves to say, let me sell everything. You see people in the news crying because the government says this can stay open, but this restaurant's got to stay closed. I'm sorry, government. It's not up to you, in my opinion, for you to dictate whether or not we stay open or not. This is the land, the home, the free and the brave, the last time I checked. And I want to make sure that's what I fought for, and that's what I will defend, and that's what I will continue to fight for and play offense with until the day I die, and something that my children will inherit as their value and principles from their father. Folks here watching the Seven Figure Squad, I don't know your thoughts, your questions, your follow-ups, your feedback. You agree with me? You don't agree? Matt, you don't know what you're talking about? Put it in the comment section below. I want to hear from you. What do you think about this guy right here? What do you think about the answer from a president? Is it good enough? Because I'm fighting for the little guy too as well, because you know why? I'm that little guy. I'm the little guy with no college degree that started a business with less than $500. And now that we start making money, now we see progress. Now we're forced to pay more than our fair share. I'm sorry, we took risk a long time ago, and we're still taking risks with our own money. Every day we wake up, we're unemployed until we sell something or we build something. Because we entrepreneurs, capitalists, we take charge and we make results happen. If we don't, then nobody gets paid. Our bills don't get paid. Our employees don't get paid. And I applaud entrepreneurs for fighting their way through to make sure that they ask the tough questions that sadly the president will want to hear. That being said, guys, if you watch this on Facebook, make sure you click like and follow our business page, Money Smart Guy. If you watch this on YouTube, make sure you click subscribe and hit notifications to be alerted the next time we upload our next episode. With that being said, guys, from Dallas, Texas, I'm your Money Smart Guy. And until we meet again, continue to live smart, continue to love smart, and be money smart today.